Ano Ivelina Mikel, and welcome back to Kumu Fats Views. Today is a requested video because I did their wahine. I'm going to do their Kāne Kahiko. It is the Academy of Hawaiian Arts in Kumu, Hula, Kealiʻi, Hoʻomalu, and they do a mele that was written by a cousin of Queen Kapi'olani, Kalakawa's wife. It is a mele that talks about his world tour around the road in different places, and it mentions different places. And there's a couple of versions of this mele and mo'olelo, and I believe they did the long version in which there is the verses in there that talks about an affair that Kalakaua had, and I have to listen to the words. So if you see me kind of gazing back this way during the performance, I'm trying to listen to the words and see what parts of the chant they did. I believe they did the whole thing because it was kind of a long mele for them. But this is again the Academy of Hawaiian Arts. Kāne Kahiko, ya oi e kala e alohi nei, from this recent Merry Monarch competition. So let's go ahead and take a look at it.
From Oakland, California, welcome Kumu, Mark, Kealiʻi, Hoʻomalu, and Academy of Hawaiian Arts.
This what he's chanting right now, ki ina ia kunapai moku, is actually a verse within Yaoi Ekala Alohine. I just don't know how much of that, from what line to what line he's actually doing, but it is actually from the mele they're actually doing.
Liloa I me ole na e ne mi le e hana loko ino o kalama e au koko kuang o kulo ano ko arakai e ola o kalani anu mauloang apukai ke au mala
Okay, yeah, so he took parts of the Yaoi Ekala Elohine and did it as an oli here. He recorded Kiina Ia Aku Kuna Paimoku. He recorded a mele with these lines, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So he took parts of a mele that's of a whole and created a chant just specifically for that. So that's what that is. Let's see if he actually chants those lines in the mele, because I watched it when it was live, and this is my first time watching it as a recording. And this is the same ka'i that his wahine did.
Dia itu muda ita hitinam piha eka ita wana au holo holo eo punam ika malama rapa rapa ika o nana uki manga haina me o poe manga kawakine ami ikai ulale awale ikai onana uki ulale awale amba ulo ala hae Yawe ekalam, Elohine, Mana wele lawa uka holuam, Yawe ekalam, Elohine, Mana wele lawa uka holuam, Hoidea e ue, Naiko hunani, Ika mana mana ma ue, Kera, Hoidea e ue, Naiko hunani, Ika mana mana ma ue, Kera, now you know it, no rogaku, Mama Pali Paita, Delia. Now you know it, no rogaku, Mama Pali Paita, Kealiʻi, Ite Kanani, Abugimelam, Henry Olu, now we money, he gave away Kanani, Abugimelam. Henry Olu, now we money, Hemana Ilohia, make it all down. Kalala igana ni meke Hemana Ilohia, make it all down. Kalala igana ni meke Kala ni no my iluna. Nana ia kapuka ki eo kalani no mai iluna nana ia kapuka he kuana ita uale ke kai hala I rana mali hey kuana ita uale ke kai hala I rana mali Hea tu mako, he mai oe, o kalani kawika, o inoa. Hea tu mako, he mai oe, o kalani kawika, o inoa. Magina I amai, anata kuana, o kala kawano, he inoa. Magina I amai, anata kuana, kala kawano.
Okay, okay, awesome. Very Academy of the Hawaiian Arts, very Kumu Mark Kealiʻi Hoʻomalu. It was an exciting mele, and I really wanted to take a closer look at it, and while listening to the birds and trying to match it in my brain and looking at the lyrics that I have from a couple of sources. He did so the portion he chanted at the beginning, he didn't do those verses within the mele. Okay, that's you have the freedom to do so, because we do. There are a lot of us kumuhula that do take mele from a much larger text and use it either as a oli or use it as just that part of that. So, example, my cousin O'Brien Eselu, one year he did Haule Mai, Pele Mai, Kahiki Mai, right? He took from the Holomai Pele text, right? He took it from the Haule Mai verse, maybe to one more verse that we don't know because it comes from a larger text, right? So the unpopular text or the unknown text, he took it from the third verse, Haule Mai Pele Mai, Kahiki Mai, Kaheki Kaolai, and he did that verse plus something else from that larger text that is not known. So what Mark did here for Ya'oi ʻAlohi is he took the verses he didn't do in the Hula, turned it into an oli, because I believe that's what he recorded on Po'okela chants, if I'm not mistaken. he did that as the Oli before the Kāne took the stage. His ka'i was that ka'i that the Wahine did as well, which I believe was something that he put together. Then the Kāne, they did from off of Namele Velo, they did they did about the first 6 verses and the last 2 verses to make it about an 8 verse Kahiko. That's what I'm remembering, and listening to the chanting and looking at 3 different texts at the same time. So well done. And let me tell you something about the difficulty level. And this is also something that some traditionalists feel wasn't, again, this is everybody's preferences and everybody's views, that it wasn't my ka'i because he did not ho'opa'a, or he did not pa'i through the main mele. He ho'opa'a during the ka'i and ho'i, but not the main mele. But he purposely said he's not going to ho'opa'a inya o ekala. It's you going to listen to the sound of the olapa's ipu. You're going to listen to the sound of his voice, and you're going to be amazed by the movement of the olapa, the Kāne. It's amazing because the difficulty level of this is also great. And the risk of losing timing and precision is great as well, because the dancers are accustomed, right? We as dancers, and even as Kumu, we are accustomed to hearing the beat and making sure that we stay on our timing and our motions flow with the beat of the ho'opa'a or the pu'ukani, right? The musicians. They did their whole mele without any accompaniment, only Kumu's voice. The difficulty level that is great because, again, the risk of their precision and timing going off is great. Were they 100% on timing and precision? There was a little timing issues here and there, and you can tell by some of their hand movements not fully extending, like one or two of them. Sometimes their motion is not extended. It's because they're either trying to catch their balance or make sure that their timing is on beat. Besides those, I think it was a wonderful presentation. I think the story they told with their motions of Kalakawa's traveling was on point. Now, some people, when they try to find things to pick at or nitpick at, they say that his hula is not hula. What I see in their dancing is uehe, is oaka, is kalakawa, or o, whatever people call it, and it's all huli. They may be doing it at different level. Their feet may be in or in certain positions, but a lot of halau have different ways of doing their basic steps too. Some halau prefer to do an uweke, in which they push their knees forward instead of out. Because let me tell you, I danced for Auntie Noenoe Lani Zudameister. She does a lot of uweke versus uwehe, and that hurts. So their oaka, sometimes they do a sidewards oaka versus a back and forth oaka. I do both. They do hela, they do kaholo. I don't know what people are trying to nitpick at, but as far as overall presentation, I think it was genius. And this wasn't Kumu's first time not being a ho'opa'a. He did it at the Georgia Naope Hula Festival as well, where one of his groups, they danced just to his voice. So I think that is something creative and innovative, to let the Olapa dance, and they produce the sounding of the ipu throughout their whole mele for the audience to hear. And those ipu, I remember in the Mo'olelo, he did those ipus, and it's usually parts that are used for the po'o, and you can tell it's big round bottoms and thin tops, and then they sold that, I believe it's kappa or something. They sold something at the top of the ipu. Again, genius. Those ipu were beautiful. And then when I talked to Kumu Mark about the la'i under the pa'u, he said that that's the sun and the green is the earth that he's traveling. Genius, because I said, Kumu, I got scoldings for using la'i under lole, using anything under lole. I was told by judges that nothing should be used under the lole, that it should be above the lole always. And he goes, why? He used that exact example I just told you. The sun is always above the earth. So he used that yellow for the sun. Ya oi ekala e alohi ne, right? The sun shines above everything. That was a genius answer, and that was a a great example of why he did that, and it was in his fact sheet. So props to the Academy of Hawaiian Arts, their Kāne Kahiko, an amazing job. This was a requested video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys gained some knowledge from my rambling. But please stay safe, stay healthy. I love each and every one of you. Aloha.